Again, welcome to College Algebra. In this lecture, we're going to discuss about rectangular coordinate system and also graphing lines. So our main objective is to learn how to plot points in a rectangular coordinate system. Also how to graph a linear equations and how to graph a vertical and horizontal lines. So here we have an example y equal to negative half x plus 4 equations. Now we say the solution of an equation with two variables x and y, such as y equal to negative half x plus 4, are ordered pair of real numbers x and y that will satisfy the equation. So for example, if we have a value of an input x, we should be able to find the value of y. And any point have two pair of real numbers, x and y. So to find some other pairs that satisfy the equation, we can substitute input values of x into the equation and we can find the corresponding output y values. So for example, if we substitute x to be 2, we are going to get negative half times 2, and that will give us negative 1. Negative 1 plus 4 will give us positive 3. So this means when x equal to 2, y will give us 3. And that can give us 1 point in the plane. So here we say, for example, if we substitute 2 for x, we are going to obtain y equal to 3. Why? Because it will be negative half times 2. Negative half times 2, the 2 will cancel each other, we get negative 1. Negative 1 plus 4 will give us positive 3. Now, since y equal to 3, when s equal to 2, we have an order pair 2 and 3. Always the x value comes first. So x is 2, y is 3. X also will be our horizontal axis, and y will be our vertical axis. So the first coordinate 2 of the order pair is usually called the x coordinate, and the second coordinate 3 is usually called the y coordinate. So again, always the x values come first before the y. So now let's go through how to plot the points in a rectangular coordinate system. Again, how to plot points in a rectangular coordinate system. So a rectangular coordinate system normally consists of two perpendicular lines that will divide the plane into 4 quadrants. So we can see the graph here, we have 4 quadrants. In quadrant 1, the x value is positive, y value also is positive. In quadrant 2, we can see that s value is negative, y value is still positive. In quadrant 3, s value is negative, y value also is negative. And in quadrant 4, x will be positive, but y will be negative. So the horizontal number line is also again called the x-axis or the x-coordinate, we said. Then the vertical again is called y. So here we have the origin center will be 0. So the values to the right are positive values, which is the x-axis. And the values that goes up from 0 is positive value, which will be the y values. Now, from the origin, the values that goes to the left will be decreasing. So it's less than 0. So that's our negative values. And the values down from the origin is negative value for y. So if we have the idea of this now, we should be able to plot any points on the plane or on the rectangular coordinate system. So here again, we said that S intersect at a point called the origin, which is 0 again. And we say the positive direction on the x-axis is to the right. The negative to the left of the origin. The positive on the y goes from the origin to the top, negative from, again, origin down. So let's say, for example, we have a point x equal to 2 and y equal to 3. We want to plot this point in the plane here. So we will come to the x-axis. Again, x is positive, so we look at the positive 2. And y also is positive 3, so we go up to 3. Then we draw intersection of the 2. X and 3 will give us the point. So every point here have 2 coordinates, 2 and 3 in this case. It's a 2-dimension, x and y. Now we have a point Q. A point Q, we have x value to be -4 and y value to be +6. So this means I will look at the horizontal section and I'll go towards the negative and look for -4. Then the y will be up, it's +6. So that will give us the point here, intersection of 6 and -4. And our last point will be R. In R, we have +6 as x and -4 as y. So we go towards positive x to the right from the origin. We have 6. Then from the origin down for y, -4. So the intersection will give us our point R, which is 6 and -4. So next is how to graph a linear equations. So again, to graph a linear equation, we start with our previous equation again, y equal to -half x plus 4. So here we can come up with any value of x. So for example, graphing a linear equation, the first thing we should do is to set up our table, then come up with the x values. When we know the x value, we can be able to find the y value. So that's the first step here. We have our table, and we came up with some x input value from -4 to +4 within the interval of 2. So we have -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. So when x is -4, I'll plug it in the equation. So -half times -4 will give me +2. +2 plus 4 will give me +6. So -4 and y will be 6. When x is -2, we have -half times -2. That will give me +1. 1 plus 4 will give me 5. So we have -2 and 5. Then when x is 0, everything here will be 0. So y will be 4. So 0 and 4. When x is 2, we have 2, -1. -half times 2 give me -1. Plus 4 will give me 3. When x is 4, we will get -2. -2 plus 4 will give me +2. So now we have a set of 5 values, x and y. So from here now, we can plot our graph. So again, to plot a graph of linear equation, we come up with the input values x, and we find the y value, set it up like a table. Then from here, we are going to construct our line. So quite remember, we have -4 and 6, -2 and 5, 0 and 4. For example, on 0, it means when s is 0, y is 4. -4 and 6 means when s is -4, y is +6. 4 and 2 means when s is 4, y is 2. So intersection is here. Then we draw a straight line. Another option is that we can say that in a linear equation, when we get 2 points, that's enough. We can just draw the line through that 2 points as long as we want. So in this case, we can find x-intercept. X-intercept means when y is 0, what's the value of x? Then we can also find the y-intercept. That's when S is 0, what is the value of Y? Or when Y is 0, what is the value of S? This will give us 2 points. Then we draw a line through those 2 points. So in this case, we are going to save more time. Instead of coming up with 5 points here, I only need 2 points. When I get any 2 points, a pair of 2 points, I'll just draw the straight line through. So again, to graph a linear equation first, we have our equation. We come up with X values. It can be any range. Then we find the Y values, then we plot it. Now, when we say that the graph of an equation is a line, we simply imply 2 things. It means when we say again, the line equation is a line, every point with coordinates that satisfy the equation will lie on the line. Every point on the line will have coordinates that satisfy the equation. So again, with a linear equation, when it's a straight line, all the points, for example, in our example here, we have 5 pairs. Even if I have 10 pairs of points, it will be the same straight line. In this case, we have more points on the line. So that's why we're saying all we need is 2 points. When you get 2 points of a straight line, just draw a straight line through it. A quicker way to graph a straight line equation or linear equation. So when a graph of an equation is a line, we call the equation a linear equation. And this equation also are often written in the standard form. The standard form will be ax plus by equal to c. Again, a, b, and c can be any value, numbers. Now, what is intercept of a line? We have 2 intercepts of a line. We have y-intercept. Y-intercept means we may have a value of y that will go through intercept the y-axis. So this means x have to be 0. So y-intercept of a line is the point, the first value s is 0, then b can be any value. Same thing applies to s-intercept. S-intercept means the line will cross through the x-axis, which means y value have to be 0. So with s-intercept, we have a, and a can be any value, which is the x value, by y always will be 0. So let's see an example here. They say we should use x and y intercept to graph the equation 3x plus 2y equal to 12. So if I have to use x and y intercept to graph this equation, first I'm going to find the x-intercept, which means y equal to 0. So if y equal to 0, everything here will be 0, which means s will give me 12 divided by 3, which will be 4. Now, if that's finding the x-intercept, y is 0. Same thing if I want to find y-intercept, s will be 0. If s is 0, then y equal to 12 divided by 2, which will be 6. So which means in x-intercept, I'll get 4 and 0. In y-intercept, I'll get 0 and 6. So here we say to find the y-intercept, we substitute 0 for x. Then we solve for y. To find s-intercept, we substitute 0 for y and solve for x. This is the step again. We are looking for y-intercept first. So we have 3s plus 2y equal to 12. S is 0. So we have 2y equal to 12. Then y will give me 12 divided by 2, which means y equal to 6. So my y-intercept will be 0 and 6. Now to find the x-intercept, we have 3s plus 2y equal to 12 again. This time y is 0 and we look for x. So we get 3s equal to 12 and s will give us 12 divided by 3, which will give us 4. So our s-intercept will be 4 and 0. Now I have 2 points. If I have these 2 points, I can easily again plot it. Here we find a third point as a check. So we say, okay, when s is 2, what would be the value of y? 3. So we plug in 2. We have 6 plus 2y equal to 12. 2y will give us 12 minus 6, which will give us 6. And y will give us 3. Here we are just using this to check. So after we plot our 2 points first, we have 0 and 6. This will be our y-intercept. S-intercept is 4 and 0, which we find. Now we draw the straight line across those 2 points. Now we will surely say that 2 and 3 should be on the line. So when we try to plug 2 and 3, we find out it's on the line, so that is correct. Any points we find from the equation will be on the line, on the linear. Now the next step is graphing horizontal and also vertical lines. And here we have a graph A, y equal to 2, question B, s equal to -3. Now, if y equal to 2, it means s can be any value. So y equal to 2, we will go to the vertical, the section where y is 2, then we draw our line. When s is -3, we go where the s is -3, which means y can be any, so to give us a vertical line. So let's see the first one. We have our coordinate here. And when y equal to 2, we come to y equal to 2, then we draw the vertical, because here the equation is excluding x. If they say we should graph y equal to 2, the line will be horizontal line because s can be any value. So we go to the y-axis, look where 2 is. At 2, we draw a line, a vertical, horizontal line. S equal to -3, the same thing, we go to x-axis -3, then we draw a vertical line across it. So we can see that y equal to 2 is our red line, just draw a straight line. S equal to -3, that's our blue line, just draw a vertical line. From the equation, we only have s equal to -3, so y can be any value. So just vertical line. And now this is a y equal to 2, and again, s equal to -3. From there, we can get any points across it. So for example, we have a point here, 2, 2, 4, 2, but we can see that y is 2 throughout. S can be any value. Now, equations of a vertical and horizontal line. Here we say that if A and B are real numbers, then the graph of the equation s equal to A is always a vertical line, as we see the example. The same thing applies if the graph of an equation is only y equal to B, there is no x value or no s variable, then it will be a horizontal line. So again, this will be the conclusion of our lectures. Again, in these lectures, we went through the concept of a coordinate system, how to plot a graph, rectangular coordinate system, and graphing line. We discussed again about how to plot points on a rectangular coordinate system. Here we are doing 2 dimensions, so every point have only 2 coordinates, x and y. X is always again the horizontal line, and then y is again the vertical line. We did an example graphing a linear equation, and we mentioned the concept of y-intercept. Y-intercept means when x is 0, what's the value of y? X-intercept means when y is 0, what's the value of x? So again, wish everybody the best, and thank you for your time.